Alright people, Max Saladin here again, playing some more Judgment. Today I'm gonna look closer at the Robotics Club minigame. I'm just gonna go through every practice match, show my build of my robot fully. This is just the build that gets me through every single match. Obviously some of these parts might be a bit higher level than what you have. I've got level 4 of everything at this point. But the main things to concentrate on your robot is to have the best speed motor available to you. The Gorilla Hammer as your weapon, whatever the highest version of that is you can get. Have the highest movement speed chip, and then a rotation speed, whatever the highest rotation speed is. Everyone else, it doesn't really matter. But I like to have another robot that looks sort of like mine with the drill attached. And then I like to have a big guy with a shield and a melee damage reduction. But mainly your robot, you want the highest speed that you can possibly get, and really that'll get you through every match. If you don't have access to level 4 equipment yet, use the level 3 equipment. If you don't have the level 3, use the level 2 and just unlock like the best speed motor, the best Gorilla Hammer, and the best enhanced movement speed. That was really the key to get through everything. And aside from that, the strategy I use is mainly get to the other team's base as quickly as possible. I don't really try to take over the entire playing field or anything like that, or try to run down the enemy teams, run down the clock. I just try to get in here to their base, because once you take their base you win and you get 100% of the field. And I believe there's a little completion unlock for beating each team by having 100% of the field. So it's probably just the best way, I think, is just get to the enemy's base. At first, when I was playing this at the very start, this robotics minigame, I actually really disliked it. I sort of didn't really understand it all that well. I thought the robot controls were pretty bad. But once I sort of started getting into what you're supposed to do to win, and figured out my strategy of just make my robot really fast and get to the enemy's base as quick as possible, and that when I learned that the Gorilla Hammer was really the toughest weapon, that's when I started enjoying this this little robotics minigame. I thought it was terrible at the start, but then I sort of got used to it. I got good at it. Doesn't mean there isn't some frustrating moments in it until you can build a really good little robot. And even when you have the best robot, there's some RNG. Well, I was about to win there, but I didn't place the block in time. But as I was saying, it doesn't mean that even when you've built up a really good robot, sometimes the RNG can really mess you up, like spawning a block that you need right next to the enemy and they grab it before you can. But I've been doing alright so far in these first two matches. These are the really easy matches. They won't give you much trouble no matter when you're doing them. It's some of the tougher, like 6-7 star matches. That's when you sort of really need the highest and best built robot. I think all these practice matches, they're the same as the main story missions. Well, not the main story missions, but you know, the story missions of the Robotics Club. I think the conditions are the same for those missions that reappear as practice missions. I don't think they change much, but there's a couple of practice missions that aren't really part of the main story of the Robotics Club either, and they can be tricky. But so far these are all pretty simple. I just try to grab the first set of 3 blocks as quickly as possible. Take down a few enemies if they get in my way. And if I end up getting taken out of this at the start, it's not that bad because I sort of need to get back to the base anyway. And if I've taken out a few of their team, it sort of allows for us to get the head start we need to get across the playing field, and really just get it so far ahead that they'll never catch up to us, really. It can be annoying when you get taken down, but yeah, happened twice in a row now. But I've got 2 straight blocks that are going to be really useful for this map, so I'm not really that worried. The enemy's really not building much at the moment. Okay. Right, now we're going places. Straight blocks are probably my favourite because you can just place one and then go up to the head of another one, and quite often that strategy really gets you to the enemy's base really quickly, depending on the maps. But I think the straight block is my favourite, or the 4 block square. It's really nice as well to build with, because the enemy base, it's all normally always set up that a 4 block square can take over pretty easily. Let's see, this is Team Bob, this mission. I'm not really cutting out any of the loading screens or anything, because I'm not editing out anything. I'm just doing this as a straight run through, sort of to prove that this build really just can let you win any match. If you're at this point where you can play any practice match, you've probably beaten the main Robotics Club mission, but maybe you're having trouble acquiring all the parts to build all the items to build every single part, because you need that for the 100% completion. It's pretty annoying. I think they needed to choose either the drone building as having that achievement of building every single part, or the Robotics Club as getting every single part, because it got a bit annoying having to get every part for 2 sets of different mini games. Wouldn't have minded doing it once so much, but yeah, it was a bit much having to do it for the drone racing and the Robotics Club. It's probably one of the Town Go app completion items that's probably going to make most people give up, because it is kind of tedious. And if you're not good at drone racing, or you're not good at the Robotics Club, it is probably going to be pretty painful to complete this 100%. I thought it was actually going to stop my plat run very early on. I thought, this minigame, I'm just really bad at it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do all this. But then again, eventually I sort of got used to how to play, and I sort of got used to just how to build a good robot. I don't think I can take over this base this time. I don't have a good block to put in here, but we're pretty far ahead of the enemy. Sometimes this will happen. I accidentally built the blocks in the wrong way so that I can't take over the enemy base. But yeah, I'm trying to look for a way in, but yeah, I don't have one at the moment, so I'll just sort of build what blocks I have out here and destroy the enemy's path that they're making towards my base. Because I'm pretty far ahead of them. There's like 40 seconds left. There's not really a chance that they can catch up. Okay. Oh, there's that green block. Yeah, we got that. Nice. We can take over the base now. This green block's sometimes just an instant win block. You really don't want the enemy to get it. Even if you think you don't really need it, you sort of want to pick it up anyway, so that you can just do that, take over the enemy base. Because if they're close enough to your base, they will do it to you, and then get the instant win over you. So it's always best to pick up that sort of flashing green block, because it really takes over a lot of space, and it can be an instant win for you. So yeah, we're in this Yappy Love one now. I think this one's actually kind of tricky. But yeah, it's one of these ones up around the corner again. I think the Robotics Club quest most people get stuck on is the first time you fight the Team NT team, because that's when you don't really have a really well built robot yet, and you sort of really have to rely on a lot of RNG and just getting lucky during that match till you can get to a point where you can build a really decent robot. I did a separate video on that mission just on its own because a lot of people were getting stuck on it. But today I just decided I would go through every practice match and just see how we get on, if I can do it all without having a single loss or whatever. Also, maybe people like to see my building technique, which is really pretty simple. As I said, it's just get as close to the enemy base as possible with each new placement. Sometimes I do like to stay close to where I need the next brick to be and let my teammates pick up the blocks, but sometimes they can be really useless, and the enemy's coming for me now, so I'll have to fight with the gorilla hammer. Again, the gorilla hammer I find is just the best weapon to have if you're doing the build that I'm doing. I've never really tried playing as like a shield robot or any of the other builds you can sort of come up with, like a gun robot. I've never used any robots with guns at all. I thought maybe it would be really easier to do that, but just the gorilla hammer, once I sort of figured out that it was the best weapon for me, that's when I really started winning matches all the time. Because quite often the enemy would be pushing me away from blocks before I had the gorilla hammer, and I really couldn't fight back against them because I don't know what I was using back then. I probably was using a shield or something. I was trying to defend myself and just concentrating, picking up blocks. Didn't really want to engage in combat, but I did learn. Like right now this guy's trying to push me away, but I've got the gorilla hammer so I can just take him down pretty quickly. This guy's getting him away. Again, the gorilla hammer, he's just destroyed, and that leaves me open to get in and get the win. Nobody's really going to be able to push me too far out of the way when I can fight back like that. We're doing pretty well so far. Not really lost a single match yet. It's going to be a pretty long video, probably about 40 minutes, because there is quite a few practice matches to get through. We're the best, or they next. I think they're pretty tricky. They're one of the last practice missions you pick up. Again, the only reason really to do all these practice matches once you've beat the main Robtics Club storyline is because you want to get the chips and items to build more parts for that 100% completion. So again, if you're struggling with these and you saw my build and you're like, I don't have level 4 items yet, well, use the highest level possible of what you do have for my build. Like if you can't get a level 4 gorilla hammer, again, just try for level 3 or even a level 2 until you can unlock the higher version. And then the other one, again, as I've said before, is the speed motor N, I think, or whatever the best speed motor open to you is, and then an enhanced movement chip. And if you have a second slot available, then put in the advanced rotation chip, I think it's called. Just the stuff that gives you the most maneuverability possible, because look at how quickly I won that match there. Just being able to get to the blocks before the enemy, picking it up. You don't really have to worry about combat if you can be quick enough. Sometimes the enemy AI gets a bit confused if you're just running circles around them. But again, other times you can have bad RNG and the enemy team can pick up a block you needed at the wrong moment and set you back, but it's not happened to us so far. I think this was a pretty easy, the way the practice matches are set up, I'm doing them in the order they just come in the list, but they're not set up in like hardest to easiest, it's about random. So I think this looks like an easy one. You don't really have to build in any specific way for this one, you just have to get across the board. We're really doing this pretty quickly. I mean, we're at the base already. Yeah, probably don't even need that next block, but I'll get it anyway. So that was a really simple one. Again, this is just how good you can become once you have the best sort of parts. It really trivializes a lot of the matches. But honestly, I feel like you deserve to be able to win that easily once you've put that amount of time into the minigame. I think it was a replacement for Pocket Circuit Racing from the mainline Yakuza games. I think this minigame's actually better than Pocket Circuit. That might be a bit controversial, but I think there's just a bit more to the gameplay of this minigame. At the start, I definitely didn't think that. I thought, oh please, I wish we had Pocket Circuit back. It was a lot easier. You didn't really have to do much. You just built the best car you could, and then the game sort of played itself. But that was more of a completionist mindset of having a minigame be easier rather than having a minigame be better designed. A lot of people I have seen, they did think like me that this minigame was just nonsense. It was just way too hard, badly explained and whatever. But I will admit I did get addicted to it by the end, especially when I was like really winning every match and not losing at all. I was like, I wonder how much faster I can do that mission this time. I actually started wishing there was sort of more to this minigame. Like there was another tournament you could enter or something. But again, I was also kind of happy when I'd completed the 100% town go up for this, because building all the parts, that did kind of start dragging, where you had to replay certain practice missions maybe 10 times in some cases to get certain chips or whatever. That was kind of annoying. I think it would have been better if you only had to do each practice match maybe once or twice to get all the parts, or if there was a way to buy parts without doing the practice missions, like if you'd earned enough money some way. Like in a drone racing, all you really need is lots of money to buy everything. Yeah, it was another easy one. I think that must have been a 1-star mission as well. Again, these are out of order, so sometimes you'll be doing a like 5-star mission and then a 1 or 2-star mission if you're going just down the list like I am. Let's see, what one was next? I think it was this one. Or yeah, that was a 2-star one. Yeah, I think it actually is this one. The plot line of the Robotics Club I actually really enjoyed too. The characters in that club were pretty interesting. I liked the way What's-Her-Face from the Mystery Club was forced to join the Robotics Club. How she's kind of standoffish with everyone at first, but then they really bond and grow as a team. Thought that was some of the better writing in the game. I think School Stories overall, I might have enjoyed it more than the main plot of the game. Not that the main plot wasn't good, it was just something about the school story stuff was just, I don't know, I just found it more interesting. It was pretty funny too, the way Yagami, this like 35, probably older detective, was sort of just showing up at this school and having to teach a dance class, join the esports team, build little robots, and he's just this guy. He's just like, he looks so out of place during it all, but it was well written, I thought, and it was actually reminding me a lot of Rockstar's game Bully. It's probably the closest we're going to get to a Bully 2. Just the way that the high school had all these missions and all the cliques, like the jocks and the nerds, the dance team. The way Yagami can go around town on a skateboard, and then he later gets a moped to race about, that he can upgrade to a motorbike later. But I think there was definitely a lot of influence from Rockstar that went into this game. I found it really enjoyable. that whole section of the game, the school story stuff. And I'm interested to see if any of the DLC for this game, how much of it sort of continues school stories or whatever. I know one of the DLC packs is going to be about Kato, Yagami's Yakuza partner at the detective agency. He's a really cool character. I don't mind that being DLC because it seems like a little story expansion. Some of the other stuff that's DLC that was out day one, it sort of feels like stuff that should have been in the game the whole time, like the extra girlfriends and stuff. It's like, why did this have to be cut out and sold back to us? And I'm not sure the season pass at the moment. We only know that one bit of DLC for Kato or however you pronounce his name is coming out, and I think they want $28 or whatever currency it is in your country, and 28 seems a bit steep at the moment, just because Yakuza never really had season passes. You sort of just bought the game, all the content was in the game. They did have DLC for the Japanese releases, but when they came west, just everything was in one package. But now they're doing it, they're releasing the game everywhere, gets it at the same time, but also now in the west we don't get the DLC packaged in anymore. So I don't know how I feel about that. I preferred it when we sort of got the finished, full, complete game. Not to say that Lost Judgment isn't complete or whatever. There's definitely so much content in the base game that it actually feels sort of ridiculous to complain about missing some DLC. It's just the fact that I've never had to deal with this from this studio before. All the DLC used to just be there in the game. And they are a business after all, they do have to make money. But I just hope it isn't a slippery slope into more dodgy DLC practices, microtransactions and all that nonsense that ruins so many series. Like, I wouldn't want them to turn into Konami or something with microtransactions and running the series into the ground, because they just started getting successful this past 5 years when Yakuza 0 came out. That really blew the franchise up in the West. It had always had a small cult following, but when Yakuza 0 came out and got so much high praise, and a lot of new eyes got turned on to the series, that's when Yakuza really started blowing up. And it's been non-stop ever since. We've had a new Yakuza or a Judgment or a Fist of the North Star from RGG Studio since 2017. They've just been constantly putting out remasters, remakes, sequels. They've just been giving us everything. So I don't like complaining about anything from them really, because they've been doing so well. But it's just that thing with the DLCs, the first sign of something going a bit sort of in a direction I don't really like. But again, maybe that Kaito DLC will really be worth it, and it really deserved to be DLC and something that they took their time with and released. I think it's going to release next month, maybe, or maybe at the end of October or something like that. And I don't know if there's going to be more DLC after that. Maybe there's going to be another expansion. And if we get 2 or 3 expansions that review really well, maybe if I see the season pass on sale, it's at 28 at the moment. So if that came down to maybe 18 or 19 pounds or dollars or whatever, I might go for it. Oh, excuse me. But we'll have to see. Maybe it won't review that well, or it'll be too short or something. Some of the DLC in the past, like the Majima side story for Kiwami 2, It wasn't DLC in the West; it was just on the disc. But I think it was DLC in Japan, maybe. And you always love playing as Majima. I mean, he's a great character. But that side story was sort of really short. Sort of felt unnecessary. Wasn't the best DLC ever or anything. I was happy I played it. But if I had to pay extra for it and it was part of a season pass or something, I wouldn't have been that pleased with it. So if the Kaito or Kato DLC ends up like that, yeah, it might not be great, but they do normally tend to put out really good content, this studio. I think they're already working on Like a Dragon 2, which I'm also looking forward to. Ichiban's such a great character. I'm not that interested in turn-based stuff. I like the more traditional, just brawler combat and action stuff. But I thought the turn-based combat in Like a Dragon, it worked really well. It has been nice in Lost Judgment to run around Yokohama without the random battles. I mean, there's still random battles, but you know they're over with a lot quicker because it's not turn-based anymore. And it's been nice to wander around and see more of the town than in Like a Dragon, because you were always worried you were going to get into a random battle. But I think there's an item you can equip in Like a Dragon that stops random battles occurring as often, or maybe outright stops them completely. But it's been a while since I played it, and I'm not sure if not sure what it was called. But yeah, I also 100%ed Like a Dragon. I think it was a little bit trickier than Lost Judgment. Because you had to do that tower, the Ultimate Millennium Tower dungeon, and it was really difficult. I think some of the bosses, and I remember if you died, you could send back ages. Excuse me. And I remember that being really challenging. That final tower in Like a Dragon. Okay. I'm just sort of rambling about different Yakuza games and stuff now, because I really don't have much more to say about the Robtics Club. Again, it's just the same strategy most of the time. You just try to build your way to the enemy team as quickly as possible, and just pat people with a gorilla hammer if they get in your way. I'm earning lots of parts that I don't really need either, but if this had been when I still needed to build the parts, this would have been really good work I've been putting in. Let's see, what one was I on now? This guy and his merry friends, I think it is. I actually have 100% completed Lost Judgment now, like every part of the game, and got the Platinum Trophy. I actually found it a lot of fun. There was nothing too tricky in this one. I think the most annoying trophy actually was the find all the gear and equipment items. For some reason it was just, there wasn't really any lists online or any of the guides that really said where to get every item of clothing. I think there might be ones now because it's a little while after the game's come out now. But when I was doing it like a week or two ago, trying to get all the clothing items, it was really tricky. Even the main trophy guide that I've been following, it just had a coming soon section written on the find all the clothing items section. I was like, what? I need to know how to do this now. So, but then I'm sort of pieced it together through game facts or game FQAs or whatever, comments people were leaving there, and little tips and tricks of where to find clothing, and then I eventually did get the full list complete. And then the Amon fight in this I actually also found really tricky. He doesn't take your phone away like he does in the original Judgment, but something about that fight this time, I really struggled with it. I died to him about 4 or 5 times maybe. Normally I can get him, if I've taken all the health items with me, it will take a while, but I can get him the first time I'm fighting him. I really wear him down and really keep cheesing certain moves and just spamming health items. But this time, I don't know what it was, I just couldn't get into a rhythm against him. And he really kept wearing me down. I don't really have a video of me beating him because I think the time I did eventually take him down, it was like a 30-minute video of me cheesing him into a corner and keeping him trapped in a corner and then really whittling down his health. And every time he was like really damaging me, then I went into a menu and started just spamming health items. It was a really unglamorous, unfun way to win, but I was just trying to beat him at that point. There's probably better guides on how to beat him now than when I was doing it, so I might look some of them up and maybe try to get a video of me beating him on, because I normally like to do one of those. But this time the footage I had, it was just so terrible and a really bad way to win. I normally don't mind using really cheesy ways to win, but that time it was just too far. Okay, so I sort of locked myself out of the enemy's base there. I think I could actually got in there, but I don't know why I didn't. I was just confused, I guess. So we'll just try to take over as much space as possible. The enemy hasn't even got a block yet, it looks like. Sometimes my teammates get in my way, it's pretty annoying. Again, when you're doing this, you probably, if you're wondering, do you really have to concentrate on building your teammates as well as your robot? And I would say not really, to be honest. I mean, try to give them the best stuff that you can for whatever build you want from them. But at the end of the day, you are the main robot, and you still do. You still have to put in most of the work, and your enemy or your little teammates, they are not that helpful. But sometimes they can come through for you, and then they can find themselves positioned in just the right place by the RNG to pick up a block that you need. And then even though I sort of bash them a lot, they can turn out to be useful sometimes. So we're down to the last 3 matches now. Yeah, this one doesn't look too tricky either. Excuse me. This should be a pretty straightforward one. I haven't lost any yet, but we'll see what happens here. I got turned around by this guy for some reason. And I was saying this one looks pretty straightforward. It's probably going to be the first one I lose or something. That would be pretty embarrassing, but get out of my way. Okay, now we're back on track. Yeah. Okay, if that guy hadn't taken me down, I would have won there. Actually, that match turned around so quickly once I started getting into position. I just sort of need to zoom up to the top of the map and place any one of these 3 blocks that I have. Yep, there we go. That one wasn't too bad at all. I think the next one on the list might be tricky. I think it's like a 5 or 6. Yeah, this one. That's only a 5-star, but it could be one that gives me a bit of trouble. It would be nice if I could do this without losing to any of the matches and just do it the first time, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see, where is the block? Okay, we'll run over here. Come on, get it. Nice. I'll just take out the enemies if they get in my way. You don't really have to be good at the combat, but it is always good if there's an enemy in your way, just to smash them with the gorilla hammer, because it takes them out of commission for a little while and just really helps you get ahead. The Stroll guy, he's really put down my health. Yeah, there's a good chance I'm going to get taken down. I've got no health left, but I'll try to build myself as far across as I can. Where's the next block? Go on. Yes, that guy got it. Nice. Now if I just get a straight block, whoops, I got taken down. Sort of knew that was coming, but the enemy's actually building over my blocks. They've actually done a good bit of defense work there, but if I can get back over there with this couple of blocks. Okay, if I can, I should have placed that straight block on top of there and I would have won. Have to wait for this guy's defensive mode to end before I can place this block, and then I've sort of just got it. Get out of the way. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Those guys actually put up a pretty good fight there. That was impressive, but again, I'm sort of just so used to the game now that I can sort of come back from most situations if I don't panic, and as long as my teammates don't get in my way or something like that. So this is the final match. Yeah, these guys are pretty tough, but again, I think we can still do this pretty easily. Yeah, I actually really like this layout. For some reason, it's just really easy to build around the edge of the map. The enemy AI tries to do it as well, and as long as I'm faster, I can sort of really get to their base before them most of the time. Come on, guy, get out of the way. Don't tell me this is going to be one of the matches where my team keeps getting in my way and slowing me down. Can I get a top block? Come on. Nice. Go on. Yes, that guy got it. Nice. I'll just take out that guy because he was looking like he was going to be causing trouble. Okay. Right. Nice. Come on, teammates. Pick up one. Yes, I knew you could do it. Nice. No, the enemy. Okay. Oh, there's one for me. Nice. Come on, get it, get it. Dodge the missiles. Right, this guy's coming for me, I think, so I better just run in and get him. Got it before you pushed me out of the way. Haha. Nice, we're really close. We'll build that there. Put that one there, and there we go. Pretty simple win. And alright people, that was all the Robtics Club practice matches. It's pretty simple once you have all those good parts.